welcome back. You're searching for what hides in the corners of the night. You want to hear stories that crawl under your skin, that stay with you after the lights go out. And tonight, I have something for you. ... Something real. Something that might just make you look over your shoulder before you go to sleep. If you enjoy stories that make your heart race and your skin crawl, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you never miss what waits for you in the dark. And if you've ever experienced something you can't explain, something that chilled you to the bone, leave your story in the comments. I might just read it in the next episode. Now, turn off the light, put on your headphones, and get ready, because this is the story of the last tenant. When I moved to Chicago for my first job after college, I didn't have much money, but the place I ended up renting was a small studio apartment in an old brownstone. On the south side, too cheap to be comfortable, and to run down to feel safe. But it was all I could afford. The landlord, a tall, gaunt man named Mr. Kaminsky, didn't ask many questions. He handed me the keys without even showing me the unit. 3rd floor. End of the hall, he said, in a voice like gravel soaked in whiskey. Don't go snooping in the basement. That's all I ask. I should have taken that as a red flag. But rent was $600 a month in Chicago. I thought I'd struck gold. The apartment was ... Old wallpaper, peeling at the corners, creaky floors, and the faint smell of mildew. The kind of place that never quite gets warm, no matter how high you turn up the heat. But I didn't care. It was mine. The first night, I barely unpacked. I threw my suitcase on the bed and collapsed next to it. Sometime around 3 a.m., I woke up freezing. Not just cold bone deep cold, the kind that bites through your clothes. I got up to check the windows, all shut. But when I turned back to bed, I saw something strange. There was condensation on the inside of the window, like someone had been breathing heavily against the glass. I wiped it with my sleeve, tried to shrug it off. Probably just old insulation, right? That's what I told myself. Over the next week, weird things kept happening. I'd hear footsteps in the hallway, around 2 or 3 every morning. Slow, heavy steps that would start at the stairs, ... stop in front of my door, ... and just stand. No knock, no movement, just ... standing. I never opened the door. Once, I looked through the peephole, but it was pitch black as if someone had covered it with their hand. When I asked Mr. Kaminsky if other tenants were night owls, he just said, "Ain't no one else on your floor." Crap. Then there were the notes. Little scraps of yellow paper slid under my door. At first, they just said things like, "It watches. Don't talk to it. He's still here." I thought someone was messing with me. Until I noticed the handwriting was shaky, like it had been written in a panic. One note was actually torn and smeared with something brownish red. I tried to convince myself it was rust, or at least, I wanted it to be rust. on the 12th night. I woke up again at 3:11 a.m. Always 3:11 my apartment, colder than ever, but this time it wasn't empty. I heard breathing inside the apartment, deep, ragged, wet, breathing, like someone had fluid in their lungs. It was coming from the corner near the closet. When I turned on the lamp, no one was there. I barely slept after that. Finally, I decided to ask Mr. Kaminsky directly. I cornered him in the lobby the next morning. "Look," I said, "I think someone's breaking in. Or maybe he cut me off with a stare." "You should leave," he said. "That place ain't right. Bye. Never was." I stared at him. "Then why the hell did you rent it to me?" He hesitated, looked away, didn't think it would start again. What would start again? He didn't answer, just walked away. That night, I locked every window, bolted the door, put a chair against it. I wasn't taking any chances. At 3:11 a.m., the lights flickered and then went out. My breath came out in puffs. I couldn't see my own hand in front of my face. And then I heard the closet door creak open. I swear to you, I hadn't touched it. There was a sound like nails dragging across wood, slow, deliberate. I held my phone up with a shaking hand, turned on the flashlight, and pointed it at the closet. There was nothing there, just an open space. And then a whisper, not a normal whisper. It came from inside my head. "You shouldn't have come." I dropped the phone. The light went out. Something moved, fast, inhuman. I felt it rush past, me ice cold, or my neck, 3 long scratches. I didn't stay the night. I grabbed my keys and ran, slept in my car. The next day, I went to the city records office. I had to know what the hell had happened in that building. It took hours of digging, but I found it, a police report. From 1978, a man had murdered his family in that apartment. Wife, 2 kids, said something, told him to do something from the closet. He claimed it lived in the walls. The last line of the report stayed with me. The suspect was found curled up in the basement, whispering to something in the dark. I left the apartment the next day. Did even go back for my stuff. Mr. Kaminsky didn't ask any questions. He just nodded when I said I was moving out. Before I left, I asked him what happened to the last tenant before me. He didn't look at me when he answered. Never found him. Just disappear. It's been 4 years. Sometimes I still wake up at 3:11 a.m., freezing cold. And every time I check the closet, just to make sure it's still empty. But last night, I could swear I heard it open. If you're still with me, thank you for listening to tonight's tale. And if you ever find a place that seems too cheap to be real, maybe ask yourself why. For more true horror stories like this, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell. And if you have a story of your own, something real, something terrifying, leave it in the comments below. You might hear your own whispers in the dark. Good night, sleep, if you can.